Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Lazarus. We're now into episode 6, which is called Heaven is a Place on Earth. Sounds like a familiar song from the 80s. If you know, you know. But yeah, in the last episode, we had a hacker off, basically. We got to see a little bit more of what the hacker who is part of Lazarus was able to do. She went up against another hacker. Oh, why can't I remember her name? But anyway, she was out of India, and she was basically trying to figure out if the trap that was planted by Lazarus, as far as saying that they discovered a cure to Hapna, would be taken. As far as, well, they were hoping to actually trap Skinner, but they said, hey, if there's any hackers that are working with him, they're definitely going to go after this to see if it's true. So anyway, in the end, Skinner, as far as they know, didn't take the bait, but this one other hacker did. This hacker basically only wanted to find out whether or not it was in fact a real cure. Once they discovered that it wasn't, they basically stopped hacking, and they then sent a message directly to Lazarus saying, hey, thanks for the exercise. It's been a while since I've had a challenge, but she absolutely spanked the Lazarus team with what she did. So anyways, unfortunately, we're not any closer to finding Skinner, but at least they were able to eliminate. Now, I think, what was it? I believe they named like 4 hackers or 5 hackers that were potentially able to create the face, the thing that was happening that was disguising people's faces across the world as Skinner. They were saying that whoever it is working with Skinner, they're hoping to expose. But now 2 of those hackers is down because Dr. 909 turned out to be working independently, and now this one doesn't seem to be working with Skinner either. So that does help to narrow down the field as far as which hackers are working with him. So it's not completely all for naught. So I'm ready to jump into this episode and see where we're going to go next, what breadcrumb we're going to follow next. So let's do that. Just before I do, though, if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop episodes, please do hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And you can also watch uncut versions of these reactions on my Patreon if you're interested. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. This cat, maybe the cat's actually Skinner. Right? Oh, gotcha. Okay. Of course it is. Why? Yeah, okay. It just sounds like they're just doing whatever they want and saying they're doing it because they're God. Yeah, but it's kind of in the open. Well, she's in the club. Come on. Oh! Oh, you're a cult kid. I'm sorry. I was about to say, it sounds like it's a mission for you. Yeah, not alone, but it's going to be hard to bring somebody else. Oh, so you're up, Leland. Again, at least you have to go in drag this time. At least I don't think you do. We're going to get some skeletons in Elaine's closet. We'll see who recognizes her, if there's family there, right? She didn't say that it was just her. Maybe some mummies and daddies and sisters and bros and uncle cousins. Flare? Okay. It's so lo-fi. What's he gonna do exactly? He doesn't look like he's the fighting type. Well, let me not judge. Maybe he has some secret skills. This just looks like a creepy summer camp, I ain't gonna lie. Not everyone looking. What's up? Hello? Greetings. Greetings. Huh? I had a feeling she'd be recognized. She's gonna feel bad deceiving them. This could get awkward. How much lying is she prepared to do? Cult or not, she probably cared about these people. Did you? Did you think it'd be undercover? No. Oh, who are you now? She did not hug him back, I noticed. So many questions.
早くあっちの世界の洗脳が解けるといいわね。
Speaking of brainwashing, that is so creepy. I could not sleep under anything like that beaming out all day long. Put me on the dark side of it. Not her actually passing out. Oh, that's what to say, girl. Yep. They did say it was blocked. I think it's kind of funny the way that Axel's always working out. Is it? I think he's got more than enough energy to spare. That's why he's running. And he's probably worried as well. That's what I thought. Why do you call her Carla? She clearly believes. And dad, who is your dad? Oh, you. No, not you. It's the adults. And I just say you in that whenever those things happen, it makes me wonder. These things typically have a very seedy underbelly. Her mother may not even know who her dad is, if you know what I'm saying. There could be some weird stuff going on there. But yeah, that's the reality. Some people have very different upbringings that make a lot of us scratch our heads. Of course. And what do we barter exactly when we have nothing? For cats, sure. I'm with you, Leland. Do we want to know what was in that bowl? I see. And they ran with it. I mean, the Skinner would not come here. I can't see him being detached from science entirely like that. Y'all reckless. Reckless! Okay, but they use power and this technology, so they're not completely, like, against all world technology. Just the stuff that might, have them thinking for themselves. No, he didn't. You got tipped off. Stop. Not you losing the one thing you needed the most. What's with the spotlights? What are you gonna do? Should we talk about dirty right now, ma'am? Ah. So he just created this cult so he'd have something to make himself feel important. Exactly. Yeah, homie just wanted to be worshipped. Not a copy, it's modeled after him. Not the same. And also, this was modeled after Skinner's mind like 30 years ago. Oh, she's so cold-hearted about it. That's where it comes from. There you go. That's why she wanted to see you burn. Yeah, she has a brain that she uses. Okay. Hannah ain't going. She's too deep. Told you she was in too deep. Well, maybe she'll do that much for you. Hopefully she cares enough about you not to want to see you burned to death. Did you do it? Come on. Please tell me you've got enough courage for that, girl. Is she gonna throw that into the fire? Wow, not mom smiling. She hated you, sis. I don't know what to tell you. She just, okay, good. Oh, he's been ready. He's like, yes, I've been waiting to kick some ass. Let's go. Y'all gonna have to drive a lot faster than that. Smokes. The fire burns fast. The forbidden seal. Oh, you gonna kill them all? Wow. Okay, we're talking like a Kool-Aid cult. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. But that is what happens with cults. Oh, the Fabi is here. They might save these people. But they don't want to be saved. That's the problem. You're going to save them, they're going to want to burn themselves. No, they don't want to. Yeah, they want to die. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not saying you shouldn't try, but they knew what was going to happen, and they're not trying to stop it. Yeah, it's a computer. Oh, did it kill him? Good. At the very least, he should have been gone. All I did was flash forward. She's not going to be okay. You don't need to talk to her again, man. She was smiling at the idea you burning up. Let her go. Yeah, thanks, Hannah. Hopefully you can come out of this somehow. Yeah, it's going to be a rough ride for you. And she may not come out of it. But the dragon didn't do it, though. It was that twisted man's interpretation. Oh, now you talk. No. You fail. Isn't? Interesting. So it could, the machine could speak, just chose not to. Who do you charge in that situation, right? The machine mind? She wants a cuddle. She's a bit traumatized. You know, almost being burnt to death by her own mama and stuff. That'll do it. Cute. Glad she's found someone she feels safe with. All right. Well, that was very interesting. I would never have pegged that as being Elena's background story at all, but I like the way that they've come in with this. Who'da thunk she came from a cult of all things, grew up in a cult that was based on an AI, right? I mean, I wish I could say that this is far-fetched, but the way the world's going these days, I can almost see it happening. And like, this might be a prediction, guys. I'm a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, interesting episode. It really was very much focused on Elena and her past. And of course, we found out that the reason they even went to this place and discovered it was because they were saying that at some point in his past, Skinner, he visited the university that was creating this AI mind. And then basically because Skinner was such a genius in the minds of these people, they decided to model this AI brain after Skinner's mind. So that's basically why they figured, okay, if we can go to this place and get access to this computer, maybe we can get an idea of, you know, was Skinner planning this as far back as then? Did he give details? Or maybe this mind has managed to extrapolate what Skinner is thinking after all these years? Because apparently, as we see here, this one dude stole this AI brain from this facility and then decided to start this cult with it because I guess he felt like that's what the brain was telling him to do. But anyway, I understand where they were going with that logic, but the reason why I feel like it was a bit faulty is because, as I mentioned, that was based on Skinner's brain a significant time ago. We don't know the exact amount of years, but they said Skinner was young and Skinner's supposed to be in his 60s now, right? So, I mean, we're looking at maybe 30 years, possibly more. And the point being that we change so much as we age and our brains, you know, I promise you, if someone did a scan of your brain at 21, 22 and did it again when you were 45, 50 or 60, it's going to be very different because your experiences, your your belief systems, the things that have happened to your environment, all those things will affect the way your brain continues to develop and the kind of connections it makes and the way that you think, right? There's fundamental things that never change in most people, but the way your perception of things, what you consider to be right, wrong, the black and white, like, right, you talk to a child about certain things and they're going to give you a very black and white side of, or a belief system, or that's the way they're going to see things. The world's going to be very much yes, no, black, white, up, down. But as you get older and you get more experienced and you start to see more things and experience more things, that's when your reasoning develops and you start to realize that very few things in this world are concretely black and white or yes or no, etc. And so all that to say that we've already seen in the earlier episodes that Skinner was very optimistic and very forward thinking when he was young. Like he really thought he was going to save the world with his technology, with his innovation, with his ideas. But then as he got older and realized how corrupt the world was and how there were so many forces that were working against the progress of the world, he became jaded, right? His heart became broken. He became disillusioned. And that changed fundamentally his viewpoint on what was necessary to be done in the world. And so all that to say is that I don't think that 20 something or 30 something year old Skinner, that his brain is functioning at the same place that the Skinner that decided to create Hapna and use it the way that he's doing it was. It's possible, of course, but you get me. Like, I feel like they're just two different people almost at that point. And so while we don't exactly know 100% what this brain was telling, this dragon was telling these people, because I do think the dragon was talking to the cult leader. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he completely, I think some of it was absolutely him wanting to run a cult. I mean, hello, having a bunch of people look to you for every little thing is a huge ego boost for those types of people. But I do think that the dragon was talking to him or possibly spinning its own AI theories at him, and he just locked into them and believed them. And so, he went and pushed that button, that panic button, when he realized that they were going to finally be attacked or that outside forces were going to come in and forcibly make their way in. And we see that his response was to basically do what we've seen a lot of cults in the past do when they're about to be dismantled. And that was take the way out. And anyway, thankfully, nothing happened in the sense that all those people were saved. But it's interesting that we see that the guy who was the leader of the cult was asking the dragon, he's like, this is what you wanted, right? We're supposed to do this, right? And there's no answer. And you could see he actually had, for the first time we saw in this episode anyway, doubt was on his face. Like, oh wait, maybe I misinterpreted. Maybe this isn't what and at this point, to have that question when your world's burning down around you and you've been sealed in is crazy, but it is what it is. So anyway, I feel like if anyone's going to come out of this the healthiest, it's going to be that cult leader, because he's the only one who really knew everything that was going on. And obviously he would have kept a lot of things from everybody else. But for the rest of the cult members, it's going to be interesting. Some of them are probably still going to believe that, that what they did was right. Or like I said, a lot of them are probably going to attempt to finish the job again, whereas others are just going to go through a very hard mental time when they try to figure out what they do now that their faith has been shaken. But in this particular case, when it came to Elena, we see that she was very quiet. We didn't really get a lot of thought processes from her about why she chose to leave, what it was that was her trigger for deciding that walking away from this cult was the right thing to do, how she's handled the fact that it looks like she's had to, her family, her friends, everyone she ever grew up with, she effectively has been shunned by them, I should say. So that's a lot, right? The point is, it's a lot for her to have walked away from. But I think it would have been interesting to find out what her trigger was, like what made her think at some point that I would rather risk being out in this world that I know nothing about on my own, which I've been told my whole life is evil, than stay here because I know it's the right thing for me, right? But we didn't get that. Unfortunately, we just see that, her mom is deep in the cult, doesn't feel any different. Obviously, doesn't feel like Elena made the right choice. And as we saw there, she was more than happy to watch her daughter literally die for the cause. But, that's what happens when you have that level of belief. And then we saw that her good friend Hannah, I think her friend Hannah was hurt I'd say that her friend Hannah was more hurt than not that Elena left her. But from what we saw, Hannah's not really ready to walk away either. She's very scared of leaving. Again, I think she might understand where Elena's coming from and that she probably sees that there's things wrong with the cult as well. But we saw that in that jail cell that she's terrified of the outside world, right? She's too scared to venture into the unknown. So she'd rather stick with the devil she knows, as it were. But thankfully, she had enough love in her heart for Elena and enough understanding of what was going on and how wrong it was that she did send up the flare. So yeah, she ended up saving their lives and that of so many other people in the cult. But as I said, it'll be interesting. It would be interesting to see what happens to them. I don't think we're going to follow up on them at this point because it's really not that important. And I think Elena's kind of let it be known that she's done, right? Like after that situation, particularly seeing her mom again and having her mom, like I said, just turn a blind eye to her possibly dying. And even when she was rescued, refusing to look at her. Yeah, I mean, I think Elena's done. So, and poor Leland. Again, Leland was just there for decoration. I don't know why I know why they sent him in. He's the only other young kid, but I think we need to give Leland some fighting skills, fighting lessons. That's all I'm saying. At this point, if you're going to send him out by himself without someone like a Doug or an Axel with them, then you need to give my boy some lessons. He needs to just some basic self-defense probably would have gotten them out of there. But yeah, another very interesting episode. I think it was nice to see this history and again, a very interesting side story about the power of belief and the scary idea of an AI potentially being something that could run something as volatile as belief and religion in a world or in any world or in the future world. But yeah, we see now that they were able to save or salvage the microchip that was running, or I guess the memory, I should say, sorry, that was running the dragons. So I guess at this point, they're going to see if they can use that to extrapolate potentially what is being considered or possibly what this plan was that Skinner had. Who knows? But we see that it did talk, even though the dragon didn't talk to the cult leader, it did talk to Axel, interestingly enough. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens now that they've got a Skinner type in their possession at this point. But yeah, good episode. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.